Welcome to Bizemag podcast. Myself, Dr. Vaneeta Aggarwal, CEO and founder of Bizemag Media. Here today we have Brian Smith with us. I'll introduce Brian to my audience. Welcome, Brian, to our podcast show. It's our pleasure and honor to host you on this podcast show today. Dear audience, as we always bring new professionals and startup owners to our show, today Brian Smith, who was born to a lower middle class family raised between Illinois and California and delved into the world of drugs as a teen, eventually learning the consequences. After being forced to choose between joining the army and going to jail, he lifted himself up from rock bottom and went on to build the American dream. Brian has built over 50 successful companies and helped over 18,000 business owners, leaders, managers, and employees realize their individual advantages on all 7 continents. Brian has a PhD in organizational psychology, a master's degree in management information systems, a bachelor's degree in accounting, and is a certified Six Sigma Master Black Belt consultant. He has helped business owners and managers since 1988 and leverages both his 30 years of consulting experience and his varied and extensive educational background to share his insights on how to best approach personal and professional development. Welcome once more, Brian. And today we are talking about his new book, which he co-written with his daughter, Mary Smith. So Brian, tell us something about yourself, your journey, to this book.
Yeah, so, as you saw, I started out, like most lower or middle income kids in a small town and was very isolated. And as my life got more complicated and I made those choices, I learned a lot about people and the influence that life has on us and that we have on life. And as my life matured and moved through the seasons that it goes through, I developed more and more experience about, the human experience. And it just so happened to happen during the technology revolution, where we went from almost no technology to technology in our back pocket. And we were there from the very beginning. And one of the things that I noticed early on was just how much technology was helping, but also hurting us as humans. It was creating new problems for us and new challenges with regard to speed and speed of thought, speed of process, speed of decision making. So our work came from understanding that and helping people to change with technology and not let it overrun us, but allow us to remain human and stay that way when we're dealing with our peers and with our customers and with our vendors and with our families and with everybody in our life, so that we can always have a positive influence.
That's very inspiring journey, Brian. And would you like to shed some light on your co-author, which is your daughter? It's very amazing combination, when your child from being born to such a level where she or he becomes your partner in business or say in writing. It's a very amazing thing. So will you please because she is not here with us, some light on her work and.
Yes. So, Mary, one of the things that we believe about influence is that we begin to influence before we're even born. And that was true of Mary. When Renee and I found out that we were going to have Mary, she already started influencing us. And, raising her and having her born into really this company. She was born in 94. I started this company in 96. And she was born into this, and she got to experience our company almost as a livelihood. It was part of the balance of our family. To have her go off to school and come back and sit next to me and work with me every day wasn't really something I thought about, but it turns out that it was a dream come true. And we are very different. Mary and I are politically different, philosophically different in a number of ways, but we are linked by one thing: that influence is important, and that positive influence is important, and that individualism, as we define it, is important. And having two very different perspectives and approaches towards our thought process and everything gives us more dimensional view for our readers. It makes our work deeper and wider, and it makes our work more exciting because we feed off each other. We don't combat each other.
Yeah, that's a great thought actually, and amazing experience for you must be as a dad. Just share something about, like you just said, what are individual influences when we talk about individual influences?
Yeah, so the name of our company is Individual Advantages. And so the name of our book series is Individual Advantages. And then each version of that has a different subtitle. But individualism to us is not a selfish thing. So when I'm doing something by myself, I am individually, responsible to myself. And that's really important. And to be my best self for others, I have to be my best self for me. And we don't think that it's selfish for an individual to be to aspire to be their best self for themselves. However, we also believe that when two people or more, so 4 people, a department, a division, a team, even a country is working together, they are individual. They are individual amongst themselves, and they have like goals, or they are moving forward in a common purpose. Even places, like the United States, who appear to be so divisive right now, we're still Americans, and at the end of the day, we are primarily moving in one direction as an individual country. And that's the complexity of individualism to us, but it's also the simplicity of it. And it's that gap between one to many that we hope to help people understand better, embrace better, and have more positive influence through that understanding.
And what would you say about this latest book of yours in the book series, Being the I in the Team?
So many of us grew up and were told, especially if we were in sports, that there is no I in team. We had our coaches say to us, there's no I in team, and we took that to mean that there was something bigger than ourselves. And that's true. However, be the I in team is how to not just be an individual, but to be the influence that is positive in your life and for all of the lives that you influence. And there's a lot that goes into that, because the decisions that we make now can influence somebody right outside this door that we're directly speaking to, but those words or actions could also have influence that are long reaching. They could influence people in a day or in a week or in a month, depending on the decisions that are made and the actions that are taken. And be the I in team is about being the best individual you can, either alone or with the many people that make up your individual, and also being the most influence that you can. And we give people, hopefully, the insight and the understanding to live that type of life.
Yes, I can understand what you're saying, and it's very, very correct. On one hand, we always say have the team spirit. So submerge yourself. But when we say submerge yourself, it means submerge your ego, right? But when you say being the I in the team, it means bring out your specialized talent, because it will benefit the team as a whole. So that's why we want to have best talents in our team, so that each specific talent can come out, work as a teamwork, so that we have sum up the most talented team. And each one is giving inputs of his own specialized character or trait or individuality. That's a very great point, in fact, and rarely highlighted.
Yeah, and you point out a really key ingredient of that, which is ego. And, ego is one of those things that is a double-edged type of sword. Not enough can have negative influence, and too much can have negative influence. And understanding those individual emotions and those individual human traits is part of what our book series is about. Our first book, which was titled Find the I in Team, was really geared towards finding ourselves and finding what influenced us to be who we are today. And our book series is about that journey. You can see maybe on the wall behind me where it says find, be, and build your influence. And that's the sequence we feel that's so important in individualism, one to many, and influence, that you have to find yourself first, find how you were influenced to be who you are and how you are influencing individually before you can really understand how to be that individual one to many and be that influence that you truly want to be.
Great. I think your books must be selling at a high rate, because they are pointing out and highlighting the most important part of a teamwork, where one needs to work on individual level, but work as a team. It was great talking to you, Brian.
Thank you. It was great to be here. Thank you so much.
Same here. And any inspiration word which you would like to give to our audience, because our audience comprise of startup owners, executives, college business management students. You have been a professional. So what are the inspirational or motivational words would you like to share with our audience?
Yeah, two of the biggest tenets in our work is slow down. And when we slow down, everything can come into focus. And when we slow down, we can live in the moment. And when we live in the moment, that present moment, we can actually think about things. We can think about the past, the experience that feeds us. We can think about the present clearly. And we can also still think about the future and plan and employ good, smart business practices or decision-making practices. But the key to any of that first is to slow down, have situation awareness, and be in the moment so that you can fully engage and be focused on whatever task, whatever thought process, whatever it is that you're doing, either alone or with a team.
Great. Thank you so much. So we end the podcast show here with wise words from Brian Smith. Do read his book. It's listed on Amazon, and we will be posting that link on our website as well as on our YouTube channel description. So do read Brian Smith's book. Yeah. Okay. Individual advantages, be the I in team.
Thank you again.
So much.
Thank you.